What's up, everybody? My name's TJ, BHC Lead P, anywhere you look. I'm a pastor in Wyoming that makes videos about the Bibles, and the daily life of a pastor. So, buckle in. I hope that you're excited for this one. I know that it's been a long time, but like I said in my previous video, my wife and I purchased a new house, and so that's where we're at today. We are in the corner of our dining area, where I've kind of set up a little area to sit, record in what would be my great-grandfather's chair, so it's really special. But let's dig into the video. Today I want to talk about the tools that I use for my production, my productivity, and workflow as a pastor. So, first things first, let's get it out of the way. I use a lot of Apple products. No, I'm not an Apple fanboy, and the reason that I can say that, there's my dog. The reason that I can say that is because, to me, an Apple fanboy doesn't believe that you should use any other products besides Apple. There's a lot of great products out there, but for me, it just works. So that being said, let's start with the first product that I use in my productivity workflow to do my job. And I'm recording with it right now, so this case will represent it. I use an iPhone 13 Pro Max. It's what I record videos on, as far as videos for the church. It's what I record videos on for this channel, but it's also what I use to text and call and track anything and everything that you can think of, from the church's Facebook to obviously like Instagram and all that kind of stuff. But the main use for my phone, and it's kind of been surprising lately, is specifically just calls and texts and dealing with that. So I use an iPhone 13 Pro Max. Now, on the back of my case, I have this little thing, this little tag right here. It's called a popple. And that popple, what that does is it's a virtual business card where all my information is on. I also have a bracelet that does the same thing. It's super cool and kind of different, but that's the first thing. I use a phone, which basically everybody has. I don't know anybody who goes through life right now without a cell phone. But I do know people that use flip phones over smartphones. But for me, the iPhone 13 Pro Max, it's just what I use. Now, to make some things easier, like being in meetings and wanting to check notifications, my wife just got me this awesome gift, which is the Apple Watch. Now, it's nothing fancy. It's not even close to the newest one. It's an Apple Watch 3. It's an Apple Watch Series 3. I put a bumper case on it and a leather strap because I like the leather aesthetic. I just like how it looks. I think it looks professional and classy. But I love this. So part of the reason I had an Apple Watch long ago, I had the Series 2, and I wanted, so then I switched back to analog, and then I realized that when I'm in meetings, I will get notifications that are urgent and that need me to address what's going on in that text message or even Facebook message. But it's very rude to like pull up my phone, or like you're in a meeting and you're picking up your phone and looking at it. It's way easier just to check. It also isn't like great, right? Because then it can appear that you're bored or whatever. But to have something on my wrist where I can look and go, okay, I can take care of that, or tell someone, hey, I need to take care of that, or when the phone rings, I can see it on my wrist and take care of it. The other thing that it really does for me is keeps track of my steps, my health, and my heart rate. I like to check my heart rate on this all the time to make sure that I'm doing okay. So my resting heart rate today is 67 beats per minute, and that's kind of where I like to keep my resting heart rate. It also tells me if I've had too many energy drinks because my heart rate's too high, which sounds terrible. Crucify me in the comments, that's fine. So an Apple Watch is the next thing in so I would call it an Apple ecosystem that I use to be productive as a pastor. The next thing is AirPods. Now these are the AirPods Series 2. I have them in a case, and I have them in a super heavy duty plastic case because at one point when I had the original AirPods, I dropped them out of a fanny pack I carried at the time, and they fell on the ground. They got ran over. They were in the snow. That's why I couldn't find them, and they still worked. In fact, my wife uses them today. They still work, which is crazy, which is why I went with AirPods. Now, what I use this for, I'll use it as almost a Bluetooth device when I'm driving. I do have a Bluetooth stereo in my car, but I'll use them for that. I'll use it for listening to podcasts, music, whatever. It just makes my life easier as I go through the day with AirPods. So pretty simple, wireless, completely wireless, and I love these things. So the next thing in my workflow, and you guys have seen it in my pastor bag video, that I'll level up here. It might go away. That I'll leave up here in a link, but is an iPad. Now I use the iPad 8th generation, and the reason I use this is because my main concern with an iPad is just that I can do basic work functions. Nothing crazy, nothing too big, but that if I wanted to take this out and I didn't want to take my main machine out, that I could do that. I have Word on here that I use. I have Good Notes. I also have Notability. So yes, I have 2 different notes apps that I'm playing with. Good Notes is cool because I can put it into books, like notebooks for different things. Like in my Notability right now, I have study notes. That's where I do, like I've gone from paper and I'm really testing out doing all my notes on my iPad. So all my study notes are on there. I have a prayer section for where I pray, handwritten pray, and also where I write prayer requests, and then I have our staff meeting stuff. And if I wanted to pay for it, I could have more notebooks, which I think is really easy and awesome. I also have like a guitar tabs thing to play guitars, and then just some fun stuff like Facebook. But then I also have an app called Blue Letter Bible, which is what I use if I'm really trying to dig in. And again, the goal is to use this device to be able to work from and study from if I don't want to take my main device. So that's what I use my iPad for, and I absolutely love it. I love my iPad. I love what I use it for. I can check emails, I can check everything, and I can work and type from this very, very easily. And sometimes I'll even go to my work setup and just set up my iPad and connect a Bluetooth keyboard that I have and connect my mouse, and then just use this just because I don't have a heavy workload. The next thing teams up with the iPad. Sorry, she's like, my dog has just discovered shadows, and so my arm from the light that's on my rig is casting a shadow, so that's why she's here. So sorry about the bumped camera and stuff like that, but it's kind of cute. So you guys have seen this pencil case. You know that I've always used a stylus to, like a nice stylus to go with my iPad, but recently after speaking at a camp, I decided to pick up the Apple Pencil. Now this is the Apple Pencil Generation 1. It's the only Apple Pencil that works with the iPad Generation 8. But I will tell you what, I did not understand the difference in technology between the Apple Pencil and the other high-end styluses that I was using. Get out of here. But I'll tell you what, the feel, the functionality, the connectivity, the pressure sensing, everything is just awesome and amazing, and I love using it. Now, I'm not an artist. I don't draw with the Apple Pencil, but if you were to draw, like if you were wanting to design a logo or whatever for your church, man, I'll tell you what, this Apple Pencil is amazing with pressure sensitivity and all that kind of stuff. So if I'm using a fountain pen type writing like font on my iPad, this actually gives a similar reflection of what it's like when I use my fountain pens. And so I've really enjoyed this. I use it to write out my notes, and that's the main thing I use it for. Notes for my sermon, writing down prayer requests, all that kind of stuff. I literally use this like a pencil in a notebook, and the weight is perfect, and the battery lasts forever. Like I charged it almost a month ago, and it's still lasting. Now I don't use it all day, every day, but I do use it, and it's amazing. I love the Apple Pencil, and I'm happy that I pulled the trigger and made the purchase. That being said, I don't think that if you want the same type of workflow to be productive as a pastor or a minister or even just a like in your everyday job, which pastoring is my everyday job. You get what I'm saying. I don't think you have to have an Apple Pencil. It's nice if you have that added functionality, but the Logitech Crayon and there's a couple other like just generic ones that you can find on Amazon do work amazing. My wife bought me one that she got off of Amazon before I bought this, and it worked great because I wanted the more pencil-esque feel instead of the Amazon or the Logitech Crayon. Totally different story, but you can use one of those and get a great experience as well. The last thing that's in my Apple ecosystem, my productivity system tech-wise, as for me as a pastor, is my laptop. Now, believe it or not, this is actually different than the one, Maya, go lay down. It's actually different than the laptop that you would have seen in my bag video. I had a MacBook Air late 2014, I think, and this one is and that was an Intel-based processor. This one is the MacBook Air, but it's the M1 chip from 2020, and I'll tell you what, getting this MacBook is incredible. I love how smooth it is. I love the display. Here's what it looks like opened. I have a little penguin because, you know, penguins are awesome. I also love the color and just that. One of my favorite features, though, is Sidecar. And if you're not familiar with that, it makes this iPad right here into another computer screen, so I can work a dual monitor setup if I'm out and about and really need to keep track of messages or emails that are coming in, as well as get work done as I'm typing up sermons or doing research or anything of that, editing, whatever. So this machine is awesome. My other machine we still use, but it was starting to run really slow and become clunky and bogged down, and was really, really frustrating to me to work with during that, like, just was so slow. This thing is quick, and the price was right. So I love having a new MacBook. There's just something so clean about a brand new one, sticker free. Eventually, I'll tell you the truth, this will end up with stickers. That's just kind of what I do. But I do keep it in this little leather protector as it's in my bag, just to keep it safe and to be a good steward of what God has blessed us with. So all in all, that's my productivity system. We have the MacBook Air 2020 with the M1 chip. We have the iPad 8th generation with the Apple Pencil. We have the iPhone 13 Pro Max, the Apple Series 3 Apple Watch, and then the AirPod Generation 2. And listen, I know that there are better devices that I could get for what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, is it really about having the best devices, or is it about having the best things to get your work done? For me, it's about having the best things to get my work done, and I believe that I have that. As always, I want you to remember that Jesus loves you. He died for you willingly. I love you too. I wouldn't die for you though. Have a wonderful and blessed day, and keep your heads up.